Hello everyone, I'm Tasneem and today I'm presenting about supernatural elements in Shakespeare plays. I hope you will enjoy it. Here are the topic outline of my presentation. First, an introduction, then the approaches of the supernatural elements in Shakespeare plays, and then a conclusion. First, what is something that is supernatural? It's something unusual, abnormal, and most likely unreal, like monsters, ghosts, magics, witches, and maybe devils. So I'm gonna talk about the supernatural in both the plays Macbeth and Hamlet by William Shakespeare. So, what is the significance of using the supernatural in his play? Why did Shakespeare use them? Okay, first, it's used as a dramatic literary device and to reach the audience and to show different dimensions of the characters. We're gonna talk about it now in details. Supernatural as dramatic literary device. How it is a dramatic literary device on both of Macbeth and Hamlet. It serves in the plot development. Okay, in Macbeth, it serves in the plot development. Like, we know that Macbeth is a brave soldier. He actually spent all his life serving the king and fighting for the king, but without the witches' prophecies and without them showing up, Macbeth would never consider killing the king. Like, we know it's something in his character that he is ambitious, but the witch's appearance motivates this ambition to be a king and to kill. Also, later in this play, the three apparitions of the three witches gave him the courage to fight for his last second of his life against Macbeth. Then, on the other hand, Hamlet. I'm gonna ask a question. What if the ghosts weren't there in this play? Please, if you have an answer, put it in the comment section. So I'm gonna talk about the ghost significance in this play. It's actually the whole idea of this play. We know that Hamlet is a peaceful nobleman. He would never suspect Claudius, but without the ghost in this play, he would never know that the ghost that Claudius has ever killed old Hamlet. And this play would never gonna be a revenge play. Okay? Second, supernatural in reaching out the audience. When we are talking about the audience, we know it's an Elizabethan audience. So the Elizabethan in that time used to believe in supernatural and the witches, the ghosts, and these things. And actually, Macbeth was written to James I, the king back then. Actually, he believed in supernatural, and even he wrote a book like how to haunt a witch. So, how it reached out the audience in Macbeth. So let's gonna be honest. The witches in Macbeth make the audience relate. Back then, society was anti-feminist society, and the witches are something very familiar, and actually they are associated with women. Like, they would accuse every woman, not everyone, every woman that they don't like or they find her suspicious. They just gonna tell them that they are a witch, and maybe they kill them later. How it reached out the audience in Hamlet. Okay, the ghost appearance actually spiced the play. Like, he was actually because he was showed up in the features of all Hamlet, so that should mean something. Like, and it creates some sort of eagerness on wanting to know what's gonna happen next. And actually, it's not only in the Elizabethan audience, but also in everyone who watched the plays or watched the performance. He wants to know what's gonna happen next. Why the ghost just popped out. Also, it shows different dimensions of the characters. We'll see how the characters were affected by the supernatural. First, Macbeth. Macbeth, as I mentioned before, was a brave man, but we were introduced to his impatient, greedy side by the witches. Also, Lady Macbeth, we were introduced to her, I'm not gonna say evil, because she's not pure evil, but we know her character more and see more layers of her characters because of the witches. Also, Banquo. Banquo actually is the opposite character of Macbeth. He was unlike Macbeth. We were introduced that he is a responsible character. He doesn't give the credit to the witches of what's gonna happen in his life when they told him that his children's gonna be king. He doesn't trust them. So we were introduced a different part of his character. The different dimension of Hamlet character from sane to insane. We know that Hamlet said that he's gonna pretend to be mad, okay, but in the closed scene when he was talking to his mother, the ghost popped out and he was the only one to see the ghost. So I'm not quite sure, but I think we were here introduced to the real mad side of Hamlet. So we know that Shakespeare managed to use supernatural elements well in both of these plays. That's for my presentation, and thank you for your listening.